Hey guys, it's Mathel here once again, and I wanted to show you a bit of gameplay footage and describe the character I'm currently playing, which is a cast while channeling Scorching Ray into Firestorm Berserker Marauder. So the concept behind the character is essentially to be trying to scale Scorching Ray as well as possible and have some increased single target damage from the Firestorm as well. So you may ask, why not go into full Wither and Wither cast while channeling to Firestorm? Well, because primarily this is supposed to be a Scorching Ray character, and the Firestorm is supposed to be an additional after effect for increased single target damage. If it's just not worth it and Scorching Ray by itself is plain old better, then I'm just going to convert the character into a pure Scorching Ray character. But at this stage, I do think the Firestorm is adding a good chunk of DPS when it needs to, and it's mostly on single target. But the idea behind the build is for Scorching Ray to be able to make clean, easy sweeps and kill things quickly that can die quickly, which is almost everything during regular maps, and then for the Firestorm to help take on single target or rares and tougher blue packs just a little bit nicer, as Scorching Ray by itself usually does have a bit of ramp up time on the tougher stuff. So the idea is to hopefully get some more single target and a bit smoother gameplay with the added Firestorm, but overall it also helps us get quite a lot of additional survivability into a Scorching Ray build by getting Leech from the Berserker Ascendancy. So the Berserker Ascendancy gives a flat 1% Leech to life and mana at all times, as well as 2% additional when you've killed things recently, which is quite a lot of the time. And then also Cloaked in Savagery is another Ascendancy point, which gives you 100% of your damage being leached back. So when paired with Valpact, you have insane amounts of survivability from a Scorching Ray build, which you otherwise would not have, and also gives you some quite nice mana regen. So right here is a good example of what Cloaked in Savagery does for me, because this map was insane and everything was just absolutely wrecking me. You could see my life absolutely just go up and down like a freaking roller coaster. And I only lived because of Valpact. These leech nodes paired with the Firestorm. So Scorching Ray by itself doesn't have any leech attached to it because it never hits anything, it's just applying a burn damage over time, so it can't leech whatsoever, and you have to rely conventionally as a Scorching Ray character on life regen, potions, flasks that is, and as well as that, mana regen is also kind of steep for the skill itself, whereas over here we do have mana leech as well as a life leech. So the Firestorm keeps up my mana for the most part, as well as my life, and that means we have to travel to get some Valpact action. So like I said, Scorching Ray by itself, usually the playstyle is just to, you know, burn things, stack stuff up, but when you attach Cast while channeling, and then Firestorm, you do get a whole bunch of Firestorms raining down around you, and the way it works is it goes to where your mouse pointer is. So when you're Scorching Raying over here, you'll get Firestorms down here. You can go right down the end of the beam and get Firestorms further away from you. So it's pretty convenient and a pretty nice playstyle overall. The Scorching Ray takes care of weaker stuff, and the Firestorm comes in when things need to die a bit faster. And that's why I'm also using 2 Consuming Darks at the moment. So I have 60% Chaos conversion on my Firestorm over here. A lot of it's chaos, but still a good chunk is fire, and as well as that, it poisons. So comboed with the Wither Totem itself, which will pretty much always be just stacking up nice stacks of Wither with increased duration, faster casting spell totem, it ends up stacking up quite a lot of poison damage, even though I'm only 60% currently converted into chaos, and as well as that, my tree is not very chaos damage friendly. I've barely got any damage over time effects, barely any chaos damage at this stage from the tree for Firestorm itself. Most of my tree is focused on fire damage and some spell damage here or there, just for the Scorching Ray itself, because like I said, it's a Scorching Ray build with some added Firestorm damage too. We have this duration cluster here, which is pretty good. You have to travel to Valpact basically to make good use of all of this shit, and that means we may as well grab this over here. But I'm not entirely sold on having the poison from consuming darks just yet. I may still try out just pure fire damage in this scenario. You can go Whispering Ice, that is something people have done, but that's completely different because you'll have to go CI or low life and stack int, and it's a completely different build. This one is just trying to be life, get about 5.5 to 6k life, so pretty easy to build, pretty cheap to make, and easy to play. So I'll go over the gear real quick. Just 2 consuming darks, which aren't necessarily going to be a staple. I will probably still try out maybe a +3 staff, maybe some catalysts, and going pure fire. So there are some things I may play around with in the weapons because chaos conversion might not be worth it. A helm that I bought with beam length, it's not terribly important. The helm enchant's really kind of not important at all. Life resists, that's what you're going for there. Life resists some attack speed, life resists some movement speed. Don't even have to have movement speed, I'm whirling around most of the time. Life resists a ring that I managed to craft with some fire damage and elemental damage, 1 piece of Elrond jewelry just for the minus mana cost, so that Scorching Ray is cast a bit easier because it takes a bit for the mana leech to kick in only when Firestorm hits things, so sometimes it won't quite kick in fast enough, and it really does help to have at least 1 Elrond jewelry. And besides that, the Kraken Idol, just rare amulet, going for life, cast speed, and spell damage. If you can't get spell damage, just life and cast speed, but there were a few of these up for 5 to 10 chaos. I bought a bunch of them, I vialed them, I apologize for taking those off the market. And of course a +1 tabula rasa. Now the significance of this is it gives us +1 to the Firestorm, +1 to the Scorching Ray, and +1 to our Empower level 3. So this current level 3 Empower is technically a level 4 Empower, and these gems are technically level 21 and level 20. So it's very powerful. In total should give you about 20% increased damage. When I get a level 4 Empower, if I get one, it'll go to level 5, and yeah, it gives you higher skill levels. Besides that, the main setup is hoping to double dip on both of these skills, Firestorm and Scorching Ray. So we have Control Destruction and Elemental Focus, and then of course cast while channeling. So the idea is to try and build around the entire tree to get enough benefit for both the Scorching Ray and the Firestorm, and yeah, so largely fire damage, cast speed, just a little bit of cast speed. Elemental Overload is going to be up most of the time thanks to the Firestorm, and got a second curse here, and both the curses I'm running right now are vulnerability from Witchfire, but sometimes I'm running Blasphemy and a Temporal Chains on Blasphemy, as well as an Arctic Armor. So far the character's been pretty good. I'm yet to take it to higher than tier 13 I think so far, because I'm just still leveling a bit. I'll try out Guardians, hopefully I'll have some smooth kills and something good to show you. Currently the Scorching Ray damages 18.3k, goes up to something like 25k, maybe 26 right now, maybe even more, with Elemental Overload. So it's something like roughly half, no, not half, maybe 30% less than my low life character, but the significant thing is we don't have Elemental Equilibrium in this build, and we try to make up for that with the Firestorm. I'll let you know how it goes next video. Hopefully it's good stuff, and I'll give you more of a conclusion whether it's worth running a setup like this, or if Scorching Ray by itself is simply better. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Mathil, and see you guys next time.